Well, I'm here in a sunny quarry park in Shrewsbury, just by the River Severn. I'm with Matt Smith from the Severn River Partnership. Matt, tell me a little bit about the partnership.
So the River Severn Partnership covers the catchment areas of the River Severn, the River Wye and the Warwickshire Avon, and that covers 8 ceremonial counties across the Midlands and Eastern Wales. And it's an organisation which includes a number of other organisations, and they're all working to the same goal, which is about the economic and environmental improvement of the River Severn catchment area. The partnership itself is managed by Shropshire County Council, but other partners include all of the other local authorities that are involved, Natural England, the Environment Agency, local wildlife trusts and partnerships, Severn Trent Water, and a whole host of water abstractors.
So tell me a little bit about the project you're working on.
So I run the Advanced Wireless Innovation Region, and it's a project which sits under the RSP, and it's funded by the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology. We're a well-funded project. We've got about £4 million worth of public funding that we can spend over the course of this year, because the programme actually ends in March 2025. The programme is all about encouraging adoption of wireless technologies, and in particular within 3 key sectors. So initially, obviously, because with the River Severn Partnership, the water sector, but also the agricultural sector and the public sector. Both the agricultural and public sector are huge in terms of employment across our geography.
So what type of projects are you working on then?
So we've got a range of projects that we're funding currently. And a number of those actually touch Shropshire in some way. We've got a smart abstraction project which is operating in the River Strine, which is just north of Telford, and that's aimed at understanding the water levels and the rainfall levels, and to try and get a better measure of when farmers can abstract water from that drainage system, and when to actually release it back into the system to make sure they can irrigate the land properly and to manage the flood position. We've also got a project which is looking at precision irrigation, so that's working with a horticultural commercial farm out in Shifnal, and that's really testing the water moisture levels to make sure that actually their crop is being irrigated effectively, and that's the hope is that will increase their yield by 10%, so it's quite economically advantageous for them to do that. Then we've got some rural projects, so we're funding 2 universities, Hartpury down in Gloucestershire, but also Harper Adams, to install a range of new sensors and devices across their working farms, to really understand the benefits of those technologies and to then relay those benefits to the local farming community. So there are a number of other projects that we're working up presently, and again that touch Shropshire in some way. We've got a water quality project which is looking at getting a better measure of the phosphate levels within the River Clun. We're also working on an ammonia emissions project which is specifically focused on the poultry sector in North Shropshire, and that's trying to get a better measure of the ammonia emissions, but also how they can be managed better. And then we're also considering a virtual rain gauge project which will really increase the level of data we've got about rainfall within the low atmosphere.
So how long are these projects going from start to finish? So when you may be starting to look at this, and I know you said this is early days of the project, How long would the project from beginning to kind of end take?
So it's a unbelievably short programme, this is. So we're obviously invested in at the tail end of the previous government, and we've got really until next March to deliver a lot of this
It's
activity.
quite a short space of time.
Very short period of time. However, the impact and the benefits of what we're doing should actually be much more elongated than finishing in 2025. So a number of the projects will last 4 years, even though the investment has happened this year.
And technology is always moving forward, so this is cutting edge technology, I guess.
Yeah, some of it is. So obviously we're in an extremely rural area. So because we're about adoption, we're about showing people technology that they could readily take off the market and use themselves. It's a bit difficult for us to focus on the very cutting edge connectivity. So the likes of 5G and 6G, are going to be quite a long time away for most people to actually experience locally. So we're quite cognizant that we've got to operate on the connectivity that's available to most people. So a lot of the projects that we're delivering are using 4G, or they're using narrowband IoT or LoRaWAN, which are much more readily available forms of connectivity than the kind of, I guess, the funkier and sexier types of 5G and 6G that you see in the cities.
And is there any satellite technology being used here?
Yeah, so obviously Starlink is readily available. And we're using Starlink actually as a backhaul for a 5G mobile project, which is, might be strange for some people. And that's making sure that we've actually got the connectivity to a local radio, which can then convert that into 5G and actually transmit that across a relatively small area, actually wherever you are in the RSP area.
So is that like making kind of a mini cell phone site type of thing?
Yeah, exactly that.
So if you're going into a location which is in the rural district and they've got no mobile phone signal, that then provides that to them?
Yes. And that's similar to a project that we've delivered here. So we're on the Quarry Park in Shrewsbury, and a project that Shropshire Council has been running with partners Tellet and Shrewsbury Town Council to deliver a very localised private 5G network. And that's almost at the point of operation. We can see some of the kit in a moment, and that will bring 5G connectivity to the quarry site for probably the next few years, really, and the purpose of that is to offer very, very high speed and durable connectivity to the organisers of events, but also stall holders that obviously have to take card payments while people are on site.
I was going to say that, because sometimes, you come along to an event and the card machines, they just don't have a signal, do they, when they're using them connected to their mobile phones? Yeah. And we've talked about being rural, but obviously we're in Shrewsbury Town Centre. You'd think there would be high-speed data, but there isn't always that option, is there?
No, I mean, part of the problem is, ordinarily you've got pretty good 4G on an area like this, but of course when you put an event on, thousands and thousands of phones come onto the site and they all clamour for that same capability. So actually it kind of maxes out and then everyone has nothing, which is a bit of a frustration. So, but it does show that actually it's not just can I get a signal, it's, can I get a signal as well as everybody else who's local to me.
So Matt, what opportunities are there for businesses to get involved in this project?
There's quite a number of ways people can get involved. There are a number of demonstration days that we'll be putting on across all of the projects that we're funding, so people can come along and see and experience what people are doing. We've also got a wireless innovation grant, so that's a small pot of funding available for businesses, specifically really in agriculture, water or the public sector or associated industries, and they can use that money up to £5,000 to invest in wireless technology in their own businesses. We've also started to undertake a coverage survey, so we'll be probably the first port of call for anybody to understand what level of mobile coverage there is within their geography. We'll be doing that over the course of this summer, so people can come onto our website and actually see exactly which networks have the best coverage in their area.
So Matt, we've talked about you installing the new 5G closed network here in Shrewsbury in the Quarry Park, but you've got other projects as well, haven't you?
Yes, obviously most of our work, because with the River Severn Partnership, covers rural geography, so as well as some of the projects that we're directly investing in, we're also undertaking a coverage study, wide-scale rural coverage study to understand mobile signal across Shropshire and the other counties that are involved, and we'll also be offering a loan scheme for antennae boosters to make sure that those that have got a relatively poor 4G signal can actually boost that and improve the connectivity they've got already on site.
So is this for business, or could this be for a local community maybe that's struggling with a signal?
It is primarily for business. However, if there were community organisations, village halls, things like that actually need some support, then we can intervene there as well.
Because there are still, a few not spots, aren't there, in the county? We're a big county, aren't we? You can't expect everybody to be covered, even whether it's, 3G's being switched off at the moment, isn't it? And I know there's just one or two 3G masts that are left in certain parts of the county where there's maybe no 4G or 5G. So this could help, I guess.
It could help. Yes, but this programme is not specifically about improving the cellular mobile coverage. To be honest, we wouldn't have enough money, and we certainly don't have enough time.
No, definitely not. But in terms of doing the survey, it helps, I guess, find those spots.
Certainly, it gives an independent indication of where those not spots are. And it allows organisations like the council to actually lobby on behalf of the community, the mobile network operators, to try and do something about it, although that's a much longer term.
There's no quick fix for things like that, is there, unfortunately, and this is down to a lot to the mobile phone networks as well.
It is, but what you'll find is in a lot of areas actually the signal might be weak, but it's weak on your phone. And it could be a case that you've got an old phone that needs upgrading. It could be that actually by putting in a local antenna booster, you can actually boost the signal available where you are. So actually there are ways to kind of fix it yourself, not all the time, but there are some opportunities to do that don't really depend on the MNO changing the mast sites or the direction of their radios.
So Matt, how can people find out more information about this project?
So first and foremost, follow us on LinkedIn. That's where you'll see the most up-to-date information. Also come along onto the website and get some information about the demonstration days for all of the different projects we're funding, and also find all the information about any funding programs that people want to put a proposal in for.
So we'll put a QR code on our screen and people can snap that on their phones and come through to your website. And you say about the days that you're going to be hosting, is that for people to come on? Do they need to register in advance via the website? Yeah,
so there'll be a registration process for all of those events. They'll start really in September and go all the way through to March, and they'll be across the project. So some will be in Shropshire, some will be elsewhere and across the RSP area. Again, if you follow us on LinkedIn, you'll hear firsthand about all of those coming up, and some will be pertinent to some businesses, others will be pertinent to others.
And as you say, there's quite a short window for this, isn't there? So people have got to be quick.
Yes, extremely short. Don't I know it?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's a busy time for you, Matt. I'll let you go. Thank you so much for telling us all about the project and explaining to us here on SBLTV.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.